Hoo boy, I just tried to record this video and did it with my mic completely muted, so now I'm in an even worse mood. Get ready, y'all. This is gonna be a kicker. And if you can tell that, yes, I'm using my webcam, I'm using very poor setup for recording, I'm leaving my fan on because the quality of this video is indicative of how I feel about the quality of our dear, dear old D&D creators and owners, Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro. It is that time again, y'all. If you are so lucky that you didn't hear about what happened at the beginning of January 2023, I'm sorry, but I'm going to tell you. About a year and a half ago, Wizards of the Coast tried to pull some really scummy maneuvers by changing their open gaming license to say, hey, if you make something that includes anything involving D&D whatsoever at all, we own it, we can sell it, we can repurpose it, we can use it for anything we want. Cool, thanks, cool, sign it, bye. And of course, we as the community said, hey, we'd rather you didn't. We like our things. Your thing inspired us to make things, but that doesn't mean we want you to have full ownership over thing we made just because it can be used in your game. And as the entire community backlashed against Wizards of the Coast, they said, all right, bestie, no, we get you, we understand you, we're connecting, we're all humans here, so we're not gonna change the OGL. Remember, we are all winners here. Anybody who says that we lost, they don't know what they're talking about. And then Paizo came swinging out of left field with the Orc license, and that was freaking great. But fast forward 18 months to August 6th, 2024, just a couple of hours ago. And WotC's back at it again at Krispy Kreme. So what's going on? Well, let's get a little bit of background, because this was almost foreshadowed like a goddamn Nostradamus by me almost 8 months ago. A while back, I made a video, and I was hot on WotC's trail. Hasbro had just laid off a bunch of their employees right before Christmas, which was assholic, and I was on the hate Hasbro train, to the point where I wasn't doing my due diligence in research. There is a video that I have since privated on my channel because it spread a horrible amount of misinformation, and I didn't want to keep that public. Thank you for everyone who called me out on it and kept me honest. In that video, Wizards of the Coast posted a job listing that I looked way too deep into without doing due diligence of what a normal job listing like that would look like, and I just assumed that it was for AI art generation and alteration. And I was wrong. Probably. That listing was definitely not. I had people in my comments section saying, hey, no, that is a totally normal job listing for this part of the company. But fast forward to today, where dear old Hasbro has decided to just stop dancing around the idea, stop playing around it, and just decided to say, hey, we're hiring a principal AI engineer. Can you come make stuff to make stuff for us? And just so you know, like, this is Hasbro. This is Hasbro8fold.ai. You click life at Hasbro and it opens the life and culture at Hasbro section. It's Hasbro. So they've laid their cards on the table, and it's not like it's surprising to anybody involved. They want to use AI to improve their products, and especially after I have read this description of this position, they are just saying, hey, we want to replace our workforce with a machine to do it for us. Let's read this word for word. I'm so upset. And before we go any farther, I want to get my own personal bias out of the way. Yes, I am against AI, however, I am not against AI as a subject. I am against the ethically immoral sourcing of AI generation libraries, the complete stealing of artwork and voices and things that do not belong to the company using them to enhance their AI generation. This job listing somewhat mentions that, so we'll get to it, but as it stands, AI in its current form is not regulated and not understood and not legally controlled in any way that makes it ethical to use right now. So for the moment, yes, I am anti-AI in its current form. I know AI is coming and we can't stop it from developing, but what we can do is take our stance as consumers and stand for ethical sourced AI generation libraries. I'm talking that if you want to make an AI that can generate artwork, pay artists, have them sign contracts, give you their consent, and credit them in the generation software. Make their public lists that show the entire list of artists within your library that you are using to generate artwork. If there is a future where there is ethically sourced AI that is giving jobs to artists and actors who are willfully and consensually providing themselves to the AI machine, I have very few problems with that. I don't think I would still use it, but then it just becomes me personally, not the entire thing itself being immoral. With all of that out of the way, let's get to this. Principal AI engineer in the United States, job description. At Wizards of the Coast, we connect people around the world through play and imagination. From our genre-defining games like Magic the Gathering and Dungeons & Dragons to our growing multiverse, whatever that means, we continue to innovate and build new ways to foster friendship and connection. That's where you come in. Meanwhile, I feel like there's no more apt example of anti-connection than AI generation. The reason people attach to art, they feel emotions for art, is because art is a connection. You can connect to the artist who created the piece by seeing their own soul and emotion put into it. You don't get that with AI. There's a reason when you see AI-generated artwork, not only can you usually tell right away, granted that's getting harder every fucking year, but it lacks soul, it lacks emotion, it lacks drive. There is not much to AI artwork as it is just regurgitated emotion, and we as humans have that inherent ability to tell when somebody has worked hard on something. Also, I know it's just big business gobbledygook, but the entire, like, we're all here about being friends and playing pretend with each other in this first paragraph it rubs me so the wrong way. I know they do that just on purpose because it will placate enough people, but for someone like me, that just is like spitting in my face. Especially since WotC Hasbro knows AI is so controversial and they're going ahead with it anyway, but they're still pretending it's all for the good of our friendship. We are building a central technology team to create high-value software and processes in direct support of our development teams. We are led by the belief that by providing industry-leading tools, innovative technology, and excellent support, it allows our team to focus on delivering outstanding player experiences first and foremost. Yeah? Yeah, Hasbro? That's your first and foremost. Not turning a profit, not cutting costs. No, our experience is first and foremost. And that's why, after us, your audience, have openly, verbally claimed we're not comfortable with the direction you're all going with this, you still decide to say, no, we want you in mind. We have you in mind. We're doing this for you. We're looking for someone who believes that crafting high-value shared technology to accelerate creation and testing of content with machine learning systems engineering is key to delivering high-quality player experiences. To begin building an outstanding team, we are looking for a versatile and dedicated lead software engineer, AI machine learning. In this role, you will be the most senior engineer within the team and partner with the technical director to ensure all of the products at WotC are supported by our engineering efforts. This just absolutely implies and is supported farther down. Don't worry, I'm not jumping the gun. I've done the assigned reading that AI machine learning is going to be applied to every aspect of Wizards of the Coast. D&D, Magic the Gathering, art, even the rules themselves. No, I am not making a straw man argument. They say that later in the listing. Let's continue. You will lead this new team to explore uses of AI in game development, asset creation, and automated frameworks. The asset creation was bad enough, using AI to generate artwork that possibly doesn't even belong to you and that you did not have to pay a cent for is already scummy enough when you are one of the richest entertainment companies on the entire planet. However, going the extra mile to remove the humans writing the rules of your game is disgusting. Game development is not easy. In fact, it is so easy to get something wrong that I have a bold prediction to make. See, TTRPGs are some of the most specific wording you will ever need to write in any kind of game. Video games are fine because they've got computers in the background making sure that no matter what something says, the game is always going to work the same way. But TTRPGs, you need to be consistent, and Paizo is a fantastic example of constant consistencies in the game. If something is going to give a bonus to armor class, then every time it shows up, it needs to say this effect gives a +1 blank bonus to armor class. However, Pathfinder's new Player Core 2 actually has a part that is problematic because the wording is not consistent. They added something along the lines of adds a +2 status bonus to your defenses. These terms have never been used anywhere else in Pathfinder 2nd Edition before, and as such, we the players don't technically know what all our defenses is. Is our defenses just our armor class? Is it our armor class and our saving throws? Is it our armor class, saving throws, and our resistances to damage? Does it include the hardness of my shield when it comes to reducing the damage I take? What does your defenses mean? We don't know, and because that is not used anywhere else in the game, we have nothing to compare it to. The reason I bring that up is because my bold prediction is that if Wizards of the Coast goes forward and uses AI to generate rules and expansions for Dungeons & Dragons, that kind of easy mistake is going to be littered throughout the books. Inconsistencies and problematic terms that are not being used the correct way within the book. This kind of specification is required in game design, especially for TTRPGs, and I don't personally believe AI is anywhere close to being able to be that consistent if it is generating rules on its own. Yeah, sure, you can have editors to clean it up, but I still believe that a lot more is going to leak through because a lot more are going to happen overall. There's my bold prediction. If it happens, I'm so glad I have this video. What you'll do: work closely with internal and external teams to define and drive the strategic roadmap for AI integrations in our tools, pipelines, and game products. This already has its own problematic mentioning of external teams, which means obviously that Wizards of the Coast is working with a lot of third parties, although less and less these days because less people want to be tied to Papa Hasbro. But to reiterate on my last point, the more different disconnected teams you add to a project, the more likely mistakes are going to leak through. Just look at the D&D movie poster fiasco of last year, where they used Pathfinder artwork on the D&D poster, and Wizards of the Coast and the developers said, oh, it's not our fault. We used a third party to develop the poster. You're still responsible, dude. Be an advocate with vision in AI. Like, obviously, if you're hiring somebody to be your lead AI engineer, you probably want them to be an advocate for AI. Kind of weird to even need to list that. Working closely with other teams to build roadmaps and timelines for usage across our products. Explore new uses of AI for all levels of game development. That's what I'm saying when I'm talking like, I think they're going to try to write new D&D books, possibly even more D&D lore with AI so they don't have to pay developers and authors. Like, absolutely crazy that they're even considering removing humans from every element of D&D. If you're using AI to generate lore, mechanics, and artwork, what is left? What is left for humans to do besides clean it up? I know you think you can get rid of 80% of your team and just make the rest cleanup detail, but I promise you, it's gonna show in the final product. God, I hate that I failed my first take of this, because my first take was way more level-headed, but because I lost my last take, and now I'm rereading all of this, it's making me so much more upset. Design, build, and deploy systems for intelligent generation of text, dialogue, audio, art, assets, NPC behaviors, and real-time bot frameworks. This is them saying, hey, we want you to design an AI Dungeon Master. We want players to be able to play even with no humans. You know, remove the human aspect from this shared human storytelling. That'll be great. That's exactly what every single D&D table wants. NPCs who play themselves and auto-generate dialogue. That's the worst part, is before an AI Dungeon Master even becomes a thing, there's going to be, like, adventures with just AI-driven NPCs who I guess you'll, like, open an... I bet you'll, like, open an app on your phone, select the NPC, and put it on the table, and the players can try to talk to it, and it was probably gonna be garbage. NPC behavior, text dialogue is so gross. Again, if they're writing an adventure and they have a big speech they need an NPC to deliver that's integral to the plot, telling AI, hey, generate this elf general's speech on the white dragon's attack. Like, God, it hurts. Design and develop libraries for teams to easily consume and deploy AI tools and enhancements. This line is so, like, Ayn Rand dystopian slash kind of like Warhammer 40k terrifying.
Your job will be to design and develop libraries for teams to easily consume and deploy AI tools and enhancements. Continue learning. Do not stop. Keep this away from the public eye, else the AI shall consume and deploy you next.
It just sounds so ridiculous and dystopian. What you'll bring: 7+ years in an engineering lead capacity, proven experience with AI machine learning systems in at least one of the following areas: simulation, asset generation, and generative content. Ability to drive consensus on approaches and solutions for creating consistently high-quality game software. Knowledge of major advancements in AI, including large modal somethings. I looked it up last time I did this, and it basically just means the ability to generate text, audio, and video all together into one. Like if you an AI generated movie would basically be an LMM from my understanding. 2D and 3D content and audio generation. So I'm guessing they're going to start using AI generated music as well. You know, a lot of TTRPGs will use like Sirenscape and stuff. They'll team up with musical developers to add like special music for specific parts of adventures, which is super cool. And now Wizards is going to do that, but they don't have to pay somebody. They can just generate it with their musical generator AI and sell that for fractions of the development cost. Understanding the ethical ramifications of using AI in our work and being able to speak to how to ensure ethics are embedded in what we do. Somebody please keep this quote on hand, just in case it leaks 3 years down the line that Wizards of the Coast has been stealing artwork from artists. I'm not saying they're going to. And if Wizards of the Coast Hasbro can ethically source their AI generation, they have my full blessing to just go ahead and do it. It's stupid, I'm not going to care about it, but they can do it without hurting anybody. In fact, they'll help artists along the way, like I talked about earlier in this video, if they can ethically pay people to provide artwork and voices to an AI library for its generation. But the second it comes out that, oh, Hasbro is teaming up with Midjourney, well, then we immediately know, okay, if Wizards of the Coast Hasbro is using Midjourney, it's already been leaked that Midjourney has stolen from thousands of artists, hundreds of pieces of artwork from some of them, just to feed its AI with no consent given. So, if it ever comes out that Wizards teams up with any of the proven scumbag AI generators, then Wizards Hasbro, you're just as guilty. Speak on how ethics are embedded in how you're using AI. I would love to hear your defense and your explanation for how you're using it, specifically how you're using it ethically. Please, I'm all ears. And you'll bring the ability to evaluate external software for decision-making on buying or building, and it's nice to have experience with game AI. Pays about $200,000 a year, give or take, and then the rest of this is just equal opportunity, saying that they've done things legally, etc., etc. They have to post on every job posting. It's wild. The fact that they've just put it out on the table and said, hey, AI going forward, this is happening. We are dedicating at least $200,000 just to the person in charge of it and are prepared to spend millions of dollars so we can fire half of our staff and replace them with AI to do their jobs for them and pay more people to clean it up. So, yeah, really, really bright future for Wizards of the Coast.